So many of us are coming into 2019 with this aspiration of, how do I get my creativity out there to the world, to the universe? And this is how you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it in a way where you're completely empowered, and that you also set yourself up for the ebb and flow of things. See, there's a misconception. There's a misconception when it comes to creativity and how people who are creative churn out that creativity. And first of all, the biggest misconception is what creativity is. So the biggest one is there has to be an actual product, right? So when people say I'm not creative, they're thinking along the lines of art, painting, music, something that's written, a written body of work, right? Videos, movies, anything that we have come to observe or come to define as being creative, it throws a lot of people off, right? But creativity comes in all forms. Creativity comes in fashion, the way you dress, how you express yourself with your words, how you do your hair, how you do, what bracelet to use. All of this is part of the creative process. So what I want to tap into today is, how do you, as a creative human being, how do you stay creative and allow yourself to be inside of creativity in order to continue to express it? What happens a lot of the times is we get an idea. I want to start a blog. I want to start a podcast. And so that's the first surge of inspiration that pops up. That's the first idea. That's the first thing. And then the very second thing, the next thing, and some of you can relate to this more than others, is the second thing that pops up is fear, right? So it comes like this sometimes, it's very linear. It comes from, oh my God, I want to start a blog, to, oh my God, no one's going to read the blog. Then it goes to, I know no one's going to read the blog. And then it goes to, let me not even start the blog, right? So you don't even give yourself an opportunity to start whatever it is that you wanted to start in the first place. So here is here is my tip for everyone, right? So it's how to create, or how to stay inside of creativity, how to be creative in 3 steps to set yourself up successfully for 2019. And step number 1 is do it, start it, whatever it is, because the idea is already there. Because if you're tuning in to say something like, oh, I thought this podcast was going to help me how to find it, you already know it. I'm not here to help you discover that, because you already know it. It's already in the back of your mind. It might be blocked by fear, self-confidence, no one's going to watch, no one's going to tune in, but you already know it. You already know what the idea is, right? Come on, raise your hand, or say out loud, yep, he's right, I already know what the idea is, because you do. And so I know a lot of people text me, tweet me, Instagram me, DM me with statements like, oh my God, I want to start a podcast. And then they kind of go silent for about a year. Yeah, because the self-doubt pops up. And no one's going to listen. What am I going to say? Who am I to say whatever it is that I'm trying to say, right? So the first step is actually just do it. And not just do it, but do it in a very intentional way, where you are actually standing inside of 3 possibilities. Do whatever it is that you're going to do creatively while you're inside of 3 possibilities. And those 3 possibilities are fun, freedom, and ease. And why those 3? Because you want to have fun while you're doing it. You want to have like so much energy. You want to wake up in the morning and think about, oh my God, I gotta go do that thing, whatever it is, right? So you want to have fun with it. And the reason that I'm saying freedom is because when you get caught up in, is anyone listening? If you get caught up in, is anybody reading? Then all of a sudden it becomes about them, right? And what you want to be able to do is you want to have some freedom with it. You have some fun, freedom, because then you can take the message wherever it is. See, you are the message. You're pretending where the fear comes in and the self-doubt is you're pretending that the message actually lies with the audience. And it really doesn't, right? It lies within you. Now, your message may be influenced. They may give you suggestions. Hey, Nando, could you do something on career change? Could you do a video tip on, you know, how to stay motivated, right? So they can influence, but you want to have the freedom to take it wherever you want to take it. Does that land? So when you're being in that creative space, make sure you're standing inside of fun, freedom, and then the third one is ease. You want to have some ease with it. And what I mean by ease is that you want to give yourself that flexibility of, you know, maybe this topic this time or that topic that time. You just want to have it set up in a way where it's easy, where it's something that lights you up. Okay, so that's tip number one, is that whatever it is that you're creating, stand inside of fun, freedom, and ease. And if you look at any area of your life that you're currently stuck in, try infusing some of that in there. Whether it's your relationship, whether it's your marriage, your finances, your career, weight loss, whatever it is, insert or stand inside of fun, freedom, and ease, and you're gonna start to see movement like you've never seen before. Okay? Trust me, I've been doing this. I'm a coach. I'm your coach. Trust me, you wouldn't be here if you didn't. The second tip on being creative in 2019 and establishing success is to create a practice, right? It's one thing to go and start and do one blog or one podcast or design one shirt, and then that's it, right? Because then the fear really sets in. Did anybody watch? And if you're like me, you're a very statistic-driven person. You're a very results-driven person where, you know, you want to see, did anybody listen to a podcast? Is anyone engaging with it? Is it serving its purpose, right? And so what does that look like? So for me, it might look like views, it might look like listens, it might look like comments, whatever it looks like for you. Don't let that be now the thing. And what I mean by that is, remember, your thing, the creative thing, whether it's a blog, podcast, whether it's losing weight, you know, is that thing. And it's the fun, freedom, and ease inside that you're experiencing, right? So when I say create a practice, what I mean is give yourself, I'm going to create 16 blog posts. I'm going to create 16 podcasts. I'm going to create 16 videos. And allow yourself to have the experience of creating 16. Why 16? I just made that up. It could actually be 25. It could actually be 4. The reason, but you want to have more than 4, right? You want to have more than 3, at least 4. And the reason being is you want to give yourself that practice. You want to develop a practice of practicing. And what that looks like is, you know, you set up video number 1, you might learn that the camera angle is better on this side. Video 2, you might already have some new light, so now you add lighting. Video 3, there's some, you know, sound equipment that you want to do. On podcasting, maybe you're in discovery mode of how to write your podcast descriptions to make them enticing, right? All of this is discovered and developed inside of a practice. You don't become an expert after 3 times, actually after 4 times. Why I say 16 is buy your 16th podcast, buy your 16th video, buy your 16th Facebook Live, buy your 16th shirt that you've designed. You've developed a style. There's a tone, there's a method, there's a technique, and you want to give yourself the option. You want to give yourself the space to discover what that is. So create a practice and allow yourself to practice practicing. Does that make sense? Does that land? Because a lot of what's going to happen is if you're only triggered, if you're only excited by the views, you might not get 10,000 views your first 10 videos, right? In fact, expect it, unless like something occurs, a news media outlet picks it up and then it goes viral. But then even if it does, that's where a lot of people kind of fail, is because one video goes viral and then the next one doesn't, and they're like, wah, wah, I'm done. Remember, these folks weren't standing inside of fun, freedom, and ease, because if they were, they would have been like, all right, that video went viral, amazing, now let me work on video number 2, right? Because they're having fun with it, so it really doesn't matter. It's the message that they want to get across. So number 2, create a practice and give yourself time to develop your technique, your method, what's going to work for you. And then number 3 is, third step in being creative, staying creative in 2019 for success, is love yourself through it. Regardless of what occurs. 0 views, no listens, no engagement, no comments, no shares, even your mama ain't listening to it. It doesn't matter. Love yourself through it. Because remember, there was a reason behind why you wanted to start this creative endeavor to begin with, right? So don't get caught up in the hate, right? Because here's the deal. Once you start putting something out there, everyone has an opinion. So your background wasn't sexy enough. Who wants to see a plant? Like, you need to change your office. What's up with this Macy? What's up with this Bloomies bag? Like, there's always feedback. There's always opinions out there, and you gotta love yourself through it, you know? And so what that looks like is also creating the space of listening to feedback, but not internalizing the feedback. So that's loving yourself through it, is knowing that there's a difference between, here's the feedback, but I am not the feedback, right? So it's like, oh, that podcast sucks. Doesn't mean you suck. Doesn't even mean your podcast sucks. It just means that that person, maybe it wasn't for them, and this is the only way that they can express themselves. You know folks like that. Like, it has to go straight to the hating. You know that, you know? And maybe there's something where you go straight to the hating, and it's gonna give you, you know, actual pause when you are interacting or engaging with others' pieces of work. Because now you're going to be on that same creative level, that same creative vibe, where you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Let me not go into straight judgment with it. Let me actually give some feedback. Like, hey, the feedback might be like, hey, your sound is off, or the lighting isn't that good, right? Or your content might need a little bit of tweaking, you know? Or your engagement, how you interact with everyone on the video, you know, you got to turn it up a notch, right? So you are starting to get more confident in what you're putting out there. And it's from these 3 steps. It's from doing it and standing inside of fun, freedom, and ease. 2, it's by creating the practice. And by 3, loving yourself through it, right? So, and a big part of loving yourself through it is acknowledgement. Like, just the fact that you're doing it, just the fact that you were courageous enough to start it and create 16 episodes or 16 things of it, that is brilliant in itself. And if throughout the process, if that's the only thing you get out of it, you don't have to worry about going viral. As long as you start acknowledging your courage and your greatness, then it was worth it, right? So guys, have an amazing, amazing week. Use this to reset for your week. Use this information, use this knowledge to pass it forward. Share this podcast, share this video with a friend. You know someone, you know 3 people that need to hear this message. Send it to them. Share it with them. Let them know that I'm your life coach, and hey, I want Nando to be your life coach too. And so share the message, and I will talk to you guys next week on Sunday Reset. How fabulous was today? It was the first Sunday Reset of 2019, and it was amazing. Guys, remember, I'm here to make your life sexier.